Really?
Yes, I would not.
That's disgraceful.
Surprised he didn't get sacked.
Would you shag Dembele?
What, Musa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, we've been live for like a minute. I just wanted to get you to
And
maybe
I
shag
had,
someone.
I had the notification.
Damn! I was trying to catch you out there. Welcome everyone, sorry for that introduction, it was very professional. But yeah, we're here for Monza in GP1, and unfortunately I am back. I'm joined by the legendary Cameron for today's
The one and
race.
only.
Yep, and we've had a break week obviously recently. So looking forward to get back into the action, and it really there weren't after the last race weren't that many changes. Droftas just continuing to extend his championship lead, and Dan Murphy now moving into second in the championship, his closest challengers, but the gap is 78 points, so it's quite a big gap at the moment. It's going to be difficult to be closed. We've got some. As we see some people tune in here, it's good to see everybody. We've got 5 at the moment. Just waiting to get going. Toby saying, "Be nice to me today." Well, it depends. It really does. But yeah, we are live now after Arsenal defeated Rapid Vienna in an absolutely thrilling game. That
Oh
I
yeah.
definitely didn't fall asleep through some of it, cuddling my dog. Because it was that boring. But yeah, looks like we've got a decent turnout. 19 at the moment. Not sure if we're going to have a full grid. Yeah. Hopefully get a decent race here today. Are we missing anyone major? We got Droftas in. We've obviously got... Oh yeah, another thing to mention is... I did just say Toby's name, but... VIL Velocity, the league owner, who is Toby, he's going to be racing tonight at the reserve. He's in the Racing Point in place of I'm not too sure who's replacing. I think it's Milan. So yeah, let's see how he'll do. Wonder if people will go easy because he's the owner, or if they'll be strict. I'd say to people, just because he's the league owner doesn't mean that you don't like. You can give him a squeeze. You can put him in the wall. No. Just because he's the league owner, it means doesn't mean anything. As I can see, Cameron, you're having a debate with Toby and chat about Celtic.
Yeah.
One of 3 teams that Cameron supports. Very loyal, this guy. Is definitely a one-team man. So yeah, I mean, obviously Monza, it's provided us with an amazing race this year in real life, where Pierre Gasly won, Carlos Sainz in second, and Lance Stroll third. After the pit lane debacle where Hamilton pitted and Bottas just being average, really. I still don't know how he didn't win that in that Mercedes. Really don't. But luckily, that was a really entertaining race. We obviously had the red flags, big crash with Leclerc, and I'm expecting a lot of overtakes today. Monza is, although you have to be careful not to get stuck in a DRS train, there are definite overtaking opportunities here. And it'll be interesting to see how everyone gets on, and hopefully we have a lot of clean but exciting racing. I'm sorry, I just have to apologise on behalf of my co-commentator for saying that Celtic are the second best team in Europe, because that's factually wrong.
They
so
are.
I just thought I'd correct
Behind Man
that.
United.
We don't promote we don't promote live on the in the Velocity International League. Phil Gang is back. That's good to see.
The Phil Gang.
Is Phil himself, I presume? Is he back? Yes, he is. Yeah, because he missed. I think the past. I can't remember. I think he missed the odd week. I'm not sure if it was last week or the week before. But yeah, looks like we're going to at Monza, and I do know that Velocity's very quick around here because he's got a race and seems very quick around here. But it's going to be very tough to beat Chapelele and Droftas. But I think if there is going to be a battle, it's probably going to be between those 3. Although a lot of other people have been upping their pace Recently, German's been in a good run of form. Dan Murphy's really come back into it. He's second in the championship now, of course, and as I said, been in good form. Aylan's always got potential for podium, and let's not rule out Andreas, who's leading the championship in the first sort of half of the season, but I guess I don't know if you consider we're not at the halfway stage yet, but the first half of the season he was leading the championship anyway, before Droftas went on that crazy run. I think he's won the past 3 races in a row, or at least 2 in a row. Although, don't quote me on that. Looks like we've got a quali ban. So YouTube Nova, who's in the session, he won't be participating. He's got a quali ban, not in qualifying anyway. He won't be participating. So worth noting that. And looks a bit cloudy. Looks a bit cloudy here at Monza.
That means hopefully it rains.
It's rare you get rain here, but of course when you do, you need some cracking races and cracking qualifyings. Of course, we had that when Sebastian Vettel won in the Toro Rosso back in 2008. And Pierre Gasly obviously didn't need that. He didn't need the rain in the end. He just needed a red flag to win in this year in the AlphaTauri. So
that was a good race, wasn't it?
It was a pretty crazy race, even crazier podium. As we see, I don't know, on my screen there, Energetics just got lifted up quite violently by his team. So that was interesting to see. But the first person out is Chapelele, who is obviously, he only joined about 4 races ago permanently, and he's won all but one of those races. I think all but 2 of those races. He won his first race in VIL, and that was in Spain. And really quick driver. Though he does claim he's slightly slow around here, but I take that with a pinch of salt. Especially whenever drivers say they're slow, they're usually still the quickest. Whether that's Hamilton or Velocity or Chapelele. So Cameron, you have a very intense relationship with Velocity. But how do you think he's going to get on today?
Hopefully crashes out.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Hopefully we don't see him around here anymore.
Well, I kind of want to break from all the horrific crashes we've witnessed recently. Because we've seen some big ones so far this season. It'll be interesting to see the crash compilation at the end of the season, which I'm desperate to have made, because we have seen some big ones this season in both divisions. But yeah, Velocity, if he doesn't crash, has got some very good pace, both race-wise and qualifying-wise. Although he has certainly at the start of this game seemed to choke a bit in quali. But anyway, Chapelele now on his lap in the first sector. He's got an AlphaTauri behind him, and that is Droftas on an outlap behind him, I think. So yeah, Chapelele will be the first to cross the line. He'll be the first one to set the pace. I believe quali, I mean obviously this is Q1, but I think the pole time will be around an 18-1, 18-2. Maybe a bit slower, because sometimes, you know, with invalidations and stuff, people don't go quicker in qualifying than they do in TT. Although with me, it's always the opposite. But then again,
Yeah.
I'm slow. So yeah, we're coming down to the second sector into the Ascari chicane. Very easy to spin here on last year's game, and still is if you clip the curb too much. Also an easy bit to invalidate there, but Chapelele's navigated that absolutely fine. And let's see what time he can put on the board. I think the next person on a flying lap is either Energetics or Fatality. Well, he's gone across the line. It's a 1:18.7. That's a very good time for just Q1. Energetics is invalidated. It wasn't Fatality. It was Velocity who's invalidated. Come on, guys. Stop invalidating. Andreas with a 1:19.1. So he's 4/10 of Chapelele. I mean, it's Q1. Pace is going to be off. Phil with a 1:19.8. Energetic starting his lap. Just trying to look who... Velocity also starting his flying. He did a 1:19.074. Of course, it was invalidated, though. We'll keep an eye on that. Paulie Orange. And Droftas also on a lap. Paulie Orange slightly further ahead. We'll switch between the two.
LV in the comments saying that we are ruthless. That's what we want. That's what we love.
Who's ruthless? Oh, right, the...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well... You know... It's only so much you can deal with having to commentate with camera and it gets to you. Liam,
Yeah,
has just done his first
takes its
time.
toll.
119.9, Evil Hunter. Also worth mentioning is Paulie Orange does his time and he goes second fastest with 119.1. Also worth mentioning that Evil Hunter is making his debut today in Division 1. As Droftas does a 118.8. Yeah, Evil Hunter in that has seat. Here comes Energetic meanwhile. Around the final corners and over serves his quali ban. What can Energetics do? It's a 120.2. He always seems to have a slow first lap or so, does Energetics. Got someone going slowly in Sector 3. Emerson, I think, has run out of fuel, or is he just going slowly? Not sure. Dan Murphy in the pits. So we've just seen someone else put time, and it was... Oh, no, yeah, Knowlesy with a 119.8. Well, let's see what Fatality can do. He's going to be the 10th person to set a time lap, and it's a 120.1. So, Energetics the slowest out of the time lap so far. Emerson coming straight into the pits without doing a lap. We've got a couple of people on out laps. One, Gurman, Farhad. Aylan's about to start his, so we'll stay on board with him for now. The teammate of the championship leader in Droftas. And I bet Droftas is secretly thanking his stars that he wasn't... that Chapelele didn't join a bit earlier in the season. Otherwise, I don't think he'd have this big championship lead and it'd be very close at the top. Probably would have been a lot more exciting for us in terms of the championship battle. But it's still not over yet. Chapelele's got enough races to theoretically get into it, but it's going to be a big ask for him, especially with the consistency of Droftas, who is currently only a 10th off Chapelele's time, which is the fastest in Q1. So on board with Aylan then, his first sector. It says it's a purple first sector, 26072. Of course, the game can glitch sometimes and say it's a purple sector when it's not, but we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll look at his Sector 2. And, Cameron, I noticed your prediction about Velocity crashing out first. He so far hasn't set up his Valley. One of the places to crash out, potentially, is Ascari. Oh, and Aylan, he didn't invalidate, he didn't crash, but he would have lost some time there. At the exit of the Ascari chicane, going quite wide, and he'll be disappointed with that because he's one of the quicker drivers here, and very good teammate to Droftas. See what time he can do, and it's a 119.5, but he won't be too disheartened because you know you can go quicker than that. Off that incident, Phil is on an outlap. He's just started an outlap, so he's only just out the pits. Velocity is about to start his final lap, so we'll stay on him. And just looking down, Gurman as well hasn't set a lap yet. He's on a lap time 26.2, so it's not a purple first sector from Gurman. And Velocity's locked up heavily into the first corner, but it doesn't look like it's compromised him too much. So let's see what he can do for this first sector. Can he go purple? I think the fastest first sector time is about a 26.0. Well, it's a 26.1 from Velocity, so it's not a purple first sector. Meanwhile, Gurman is in the final sector. He's done a 52.9 in the middle sector.
Velocity went onto the gravel a little bit.
Yeah, that would have cost him time, but I wonder if he'll back off. We'll keep going regardless. Gurman now coming around the final corner, and then we'll switch to Velocity.
Velocity's invalidated.
Well, we won't switch to Velocities. Gurman does a 119.5, and Velocity's invalidated twice. He's going to be using up... Well, I presume he's using the same set of tyres, but it's going to be very frustrating for him. He needs to get at least a banker on the board. I'm sure with him, he'll only need one actual lap to be safe, but it needs to not be invalidated for that to happen. We've also got One on a lap, and Emerson on a lap. Looks like One's getting out of the way, though, of people. Emerson is just done a a really good first sector. It was nearly purple, 26.082. I think Alan has had the purple first sector with a 26.052. It's a purple middle sector though for Emerson. So this is looking good. Can he keep it out of Ascari? Yes, he can. Foot to the floor, flat out through there. Gain a lot of time, but also lose it in that sequence of corners. Coming down to the final corner, which I always forget the name of, which is really bad. But Emerson now comes across the line, and it's a 1:18.795, and he's very close to beating Chappell. Good. He had a purple middle sector, and I think his Ascari looked pretty good as well. So certainly encouraging signs that we might have a close battle for pole, looking at the top 3 at the moment. So people who haven't done time lapse so far: Dan Murphy, One, Velocity, and Sean Hammers. Sean Hammers is on a out lap, about to start his lap, in all fairness. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think Phil Razor's just done a 1:19.452. He has. So Phil looking comfortable in 8th at the moment. So yeah, Dan Murphy, last year's champion. Yeah, and this year's championship contender, because he's 2nd in the championship after a slow start. Although, as I said, the gap is quite big to Droftas at the moment. He is yet to set a time. Same with One and Velocity. But Dan hasn't been out yet. One's been out once. Velocity's been out twice, but invalidated both times. So he will be really, really determined to not invalidate again, as he takes a very interesting route there. I guess the track isn't for everyone. Sean Hammers on his lap then. He's done a 26.4 in his first sector. It's certainly not going to be the fastest lap. We got LH44 in the chat, I just noticed that. It's good to see him in the chat. Remember from the days of AOR, and I was in Division 3 of AOR when they were 4 divisions, and he won a lot. Oh, little bit of a tailspin there from Sean Hammers. Just lost the rear a bit coming out of Ascari. That would have cost him a little bit of time. Probably about 2 or 3 tenths. Which, considering the first sector was a bit slow, won't have particularly helped him. But at the moment, the slowest time 1:20.172, and Sean Hammers just goes slightly quicker than that. Although, as I said, had a little moment. So that definitely isn't as quick as he can be. Velocity now on a flying, so we'll stick on board with him.
Let's see if you can actually set a time this time.
I do, LH44, yes I do. I do know you, but you don't know me. I'm Stalker. No, I know you from, as Velocity does a purple first sector, I know you from the days back in AOR. And, well, we were pretty dominant.
This one is done is like I never raced her.
Until yeah, well, if it would be, it's another race with exactly the same name. I mean, presuming to be fair, I could be wrong, as Velocity is another purple sector, but if that is YouTube's name is the same or similar to his PSN, my name was Masler's in AOR. I got about 2 or 3 podiums, so I wasn't exactly one of great, and I did bottle a lot of races, but so I wasn't up there with you that often. But yeah, now go by the name VIL Maz, as Velocity goes 2nd fastest. I thought that was going to beat Chapelele's time, but I think it must have been the final sector, because he had a purple first and a purple second. Yeah. So unlucky there for Velocity. That's a shame he set a time in it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, a massive shame with Gutters. But no, he'll be safely through into Q2. Fatality's done a 1:20.172. Energetics did go slightly quicker, but he's still looking quite slow at the moment. Dan Murphy's still in the pits. He loves to leave it late, doesn't he? And One has come in after invalidating a lap. He's going to get out as soon as possible. So we'll see that. Ah, you do remember me, yes. Those were the days when AOR actually had 4 divisions, and yeah, unfortunately I think the stewarding and everything went a bit to pot, but I think it's only 2 divisions now in AOR. I'm not 100% sure, to be fair. I left after that season. I can't remember who won the championship that year, because you were doing well in there, but Oh, apparently Dan's not going to make it for qualifying. That's a shame. But if anyone can come from the back and do well, it's Dan Murphy, as he's proven many times. But yeah, I can't remember who won that year in AOR. I think it was someone who was really annoying. Like, he would report you for the slightest thing. Like, he'd report you when the game said that it wasn't a corner cut and say, actually, it should have been a corner cut. And he also reported me for driving too slow on the formation lap once. I can't remember his name, but he was hated. And I remember when he won the championship, everyone was just like, just chatting crap, like, well, just having a go at him because he was just such a horrible person. Simply Superman, that's it. Yes, I did not like him at all. He was a very bad winner and an even worse loser. And unfortunately, most of the times it was him winning, but yeah, and he won the championship by a mile. In the end, at the start it was a bit close. We had a few different winners. LH44 was one of them, and I got the odd podium. But yeah,
we love a podium.
We do. I hope one day I can get in VIL in Division 2, but I keep bottling it. So we got Sean Hammers on an outlap, Energetics on an outlap, Nosey on a flying. We got One as well on an outlap. These guys really are the ones threatened with elimination from Q1 at the moment. Those being Nosey.
Ooh, Energetics is spun. But that's only his outlap, but he has got damage.
Yeah, he was lucky not to lose his wheel there. Yeah, he's got wing damage, we can see from that. And it looks like he's not going to have time to go in and do another lap. He could be eliminated here. We know that Dan's not going to do another lap because unfortunately he's not going to make it for quali. But Sean Hammers is now on his flying lap. One's on a flying lap as well. If those two improve, that's Energetics out of Q1. So now, as he goes into the pits, all eyes on One and Sean Hammers. Will go on board with One first because he's further ahead. Just needs to get a lap in, because that time by Energetics of 1:20.046 is not that good at all.
Drop that same velocity percent he's going to be at the back. God's a grade A scumbag. Couldn't agree more.
And LH44, I do remember that. Yeah, he reported you for, like, apparently, yeah, pushing him off the track and causing him to get a time penalty, but it was complete. I won't say the word because I'm commentating. I should be professional, but it was absolutely outrageous, and he got the win from the race because of that. The stewards would moan about him always reporting stuff, and they'd give him what he wanted, and I was like, yeah, I won't get into that. I'm still salty about the AOR stewards. That's why I left after that season. One did a purple middle sector, so let's see what he can do. It's just looking good. It's a 1:19.3. He's safely through. Energetics now is he's out. Sean Hammers is now coming through, but no matter what, Energetics is out, and Sean Hammers can't get through either. But yeah, we've lost Energetics and Dan Murphy. Dan Murphy, to be fair, we've lost because he wasn't able to get there, but Energetics, that spin is pretty costly, and we have lost one of the big boys from Q1. So yeah, very interesting setup we've got for this race now, with both Dan Murphy and Energetics at the back, as well as YouTube Nova, Sean Hammers and sorry, not Knowlesy, he's through to Q2. But yeah, Sean Hammers, Energetics, Dan Murphy and Nova will be starting at the back. So you've got some quick guys there at the back, so you can overtake around here. Probably stick on the mediums or hards, or even fresh softs, whatever. The strategy's really their oyster, and you just got to gamble when you're starting that far back. Toby, I'm just going to ignore Toby in the chat. It's just disgraceful.
Who's Toby?
Yeah, exactly. Who is Toby? He's Velocity, and he's an nonce. Yeah, I do apologise for all the reminiscing of AOR, but yeah, just seeing LH44 in the comments got me nostalgic of when I used to race in AOR. So yeah, just thought I had to mention it for the benefit. people loving my comment on Velocity. Funny thing is, he's a league owner, so he could literally, I guess just kick me from the league at any point, but for saying this. But, you know, I'm a commentator. I've got to call it how I see it.
Got to be
It's my
fair.
job. You know, Mass throwing shade. I learned from the best, Droftas. I learned from the best. Seen your commentary many times. I need to throw in a bit more like mad puns to really live up to Droftas. Although he's more the co-commentator, so actually that's Cameron who really needs to live up to it. So, yeah, it's been nice having you here. Yeah, yeah, indeed. There I go. We're only waiting for Sean Hammers to retire so we can go into Q2. There we go. You obviously was listening because he's just retired. So yeah, look at the gap down from first to fourth. Barely anything separating. It was just under a tenth separating the top four. If we get that in Q3, that's going to be really something. So let's really hope that continues. And for the sake of competition, let's hope all these guys get through to Q3. And we can have a really good battle for pole. Because I feel like sometimes it's promised a lot and then in the end someone's got pole by quite a bit. Paulie Orange and Andreas as well, not too far out of it. And I think Alan's got a lot more pace in him as well, but he messed up his lap. And of course for Phil and P12, he'll be hoping for a bit more convincing performance in Q2. Of course, it was only Q1, so everyone's not pushing as hard as they would in other qualifying, so it's not really reflective those times necessarily. Although I'd say the top four timings probably are reflective. As we go into Q2, still got a lot of cloud around the circuit. Don't think there's any threat of any rain. I think someone would have said in the comments if there was, which I guess is good in terms of the top four battling. Well, it's good for everyone, I think, apart from Droftas, who absolutely loves the rain, the weirdo. As Phil Razor comes out, and he's just been pipped. Is that Velocity out first? It is. He wants the attention. So we'll give it to him. We have to be fair. We'll have to be fair. You know, whoever's out first has to get the screen time. As long as he doesn't invalidate or get overtaken in the outlap.
Here's to hoping.
We've also got Evil Hunter, Phil Razor out behind Velocities. Well, I was going to say it was Phil Razor, but I think he's been overtaken by Evil Hunter. And then shortly behind him, Droftas. So I'll see if I can remember that order so I can... and Velocity's invalidated his outlap. Oh dear, that's tragic. He'll be very upset with that. As we see everyone now come onto the circuit. Everyone's coming out in a nice space fashion. Doesn't seem like anyone's too grouped together, although saying that Evil Hunter and Phil Razor are getting a bit close, but there's still enough gap between them. As we get this lovely view of Velocity's helmet, actually, which looks very nice. I hate to give him a compliment, but the helmet goes really well with the Racing Point, I think. I know it's his... I think it's his helmet for Williams, so I guess the colour sort of works either way. But yeah, liking that helmet. Liking that helmet as he comes around to start his lap then, with a little weave. No idea why he's done that, I guess to warm the tyres, but seems a bit randy. We've also got Evil Hunter crossing a line behind him. You can just see there in the distance, and then you can also see in the distance behind Evil Hunter, Phil Razor. So into the first sector, and his time in Q1, his first sector time in Q1 was a 25.962. I've just realised I haven't got the bloody telemetry up. It's purple, but that doesn't tell us anything because he's the first one out. That was really bad of me not to have the telemetry up. I just forgot that it didn't have that for... Oh, and Velocity nearly invalidating there. This is the corner where he's invalidated a lot in practice. He's kept it on the track. Though, in front of him, I think that's One on an outlap. But he won't be getting in his way. Let's see what time he can do. It's a 52.3. Also interesting to note, he's gone out on the soft tyres. If I just put the detail there for fitted. Evil Hunter on the mediums, and he's gone slower, but of course that's to be expected on the mediums. And as he comes into the final corner, Phil also on the mediums. So velocity is obviously going to be a lot quicker than those medium runs. What is this going to be? It's going to be a... He slowed down. I think he realised that he didn't want to go on the mediums. Phil Razor goes quickest with a 120.1. So yeah, velocity there seemed a bit pointless. I guess he just wanted the media attention, you know. But yeah, he slowed down there on the mediums so that he wouldn't. And Droftas has done the same with a 121.996. So I think everyone's just realised, oh, everyone else is on the mediums. I'm not going to commit to the softs. As Fatality gets a purple middle sector there. Although I'm pretty sure that isn't a purple middle sector because Velocity set that. Oh, and he's round! And that's his wheel gone! We have witnessed the first death! No, I say death. He'll be fine. It wasn't that big a crash as Paulie Orange goes faster with the 119.7. But as you see the stricken car, he's in no hurry to get out. Where are the marshals? Where are the marshals, everybody? This is appalling. No marshals in sight. But yeah, Paulie Orange going quickest. Got One on a lap. He's invalidated. And everyone else in the pits. So yeah, we've lost Fatality. He definitely won't be making it into Q3 after that crash. Which actually was quite a tame crash compared to the ones we've seen in Division 1 so far. Knowlesy's coming out of the pit box, I should add. I'm not sure about anything else. We've got... Is Droftas going again? No, he's going into the pits. Velocity also into the pits. And, yeah, so those two will be going onto the medium tyres. We got Farhad about to start his flying lap. Farhad has shown a big improvement in pace recently, I must add. Did really well at Abu Dhabi. He's got some good pace, and he certain tracks especially, you can really show that. So he's going to be doing his lap on the softs. So... He's obviously thinking he's not quick enough to get in on the mediums, I guess. Or maybe this is just preferred strategy. We'll have to see what Farhad can do. And we'll stay on board with him for this lap. And see what he can pull out from underneath him. Velocity switching to the medium tyres. You can see in the top left of your screen. It's a 26.1 from Farhad. That is purple, as expected, for the only soft runner so far who looks to be doing a proper lap. Oh, he's invalidated. Oh. Yeah, he just came into that corner a bit too on the curb, and it's thrown him off, and he'll be really frustrated about that. And I'm a bit frustrated as well because it means that no one's on a flying lap that we can watch at the moment. We've got a few people on out laps. Alan's just starting his out lap. Emerson about to start his lap, so I guess we'll sit on board with him. The comments have really dried up, haven't they? A bit disappointed, everybody.
What do you expect once Velocity joins in?
Yeah, that is true, but I still take it very personally. As we see the Red Bull of Chapelele come out, the only remaining Red Bull in the session, and Emerson looks to do that first chicane a bit cautiously. Let's see what he can do down to the end of Sector 1. We'll see what time this is. Of course, Alan, before he invalidated, did a 26.1 in the first sector, and it's a 26.3 from Emerson. So that is currently purple, but of course... he's on the medium tyre as well. Actually, that is impressive. So this looks like it might be the quickest lap so far. But of course, Chapelele's on an out lap, and Andreas on one as well. So don't rule them out. Also, Velocity and Droftas yet to set proper laps, and looks like they will be doing it on the medium tyre. You can see Paulie Orange and Phil Razor as Emerson gets another purple sector. Paulie Orange and Phil Razor both going. Selecting the soft tyre in case they have to come out again. So clever from them, if needed, to go out, get another lap in on the soft to make sure they get through to Q3 because we're not sure if they're safe yet. Is Emerson going to take advantage of his pace in those first two sectors? He is. It's a 119.526. It's 0.2 quicker than second place on the mediums. And he'll be happy with that. Andreas has just done a 120.1. Evil Hunter already up there with a 120.2. We've now got Emerson's, and he nearly spun there. Just as I came off him, he nearly spun. Droftas also on a lap. Yellow flag in Sector 1, I think. That's someone who's run out of fuel. because they're going very slowly at the moment. So Droftas, actually Elan's further ahead of him, before his teammate. Elan's retired from the session. Oh, he's binned it. Droftas is about to come past him. He's binned it on Ascari. Wow, that was not expected. So we've lost 2 people from the session who have binned it. Fatality, that was Ascari as well. So yeah, Ascari has taken out 2 drivers. Elan had a real severe crash in Spain, so I hope this one was less severe. So his virtual self can actually race again as Droftas is a 1:19.9. Velocity has done a 1:20.230 on the medium tyre. He will be disappointed with that, because that doesn't look like that's made him look very safe again. But actually looking at this, I've just realised Ashapalele doesn't beat Emerson's time. That's interesting, but it is still very close to 1:19.575. But yeah, Velocity probably has got enough fuel to do a couple of laps. So being a bit premature then. Poor commentating from me. Poor commentating. I should be shot.
That is poor.
Yeah. Right, well, I'm going to be keeping a closer eye on people through Ascari, because we've lost 2 drivers in Q2 alone through Ascari. We're on board now with One, who nearly invalidates but keeps it on the track. He's coming up to the dreaded Ascari now, as Becker's joined, saying evening. Evening, Becker. You just missed 2 drivers get killed by Ascari. Are we about to witness a third? No, we're not. One does that nice and clean. And yeah, unfortunately, Velocity is also racing tonight. He's reserving. So yeah, just to warn you about that.
Is that a good lap though? 1:19.
Yes, actually, I missed that. A 1:19.75. 2. That is a good lap. One with a 1:20.1. And yeah, Becca paying her respects to the fallen victims. I think that Fatality definitely would have survived his crash, but Elan, you know how fragile he is after his big crash in Spain. I do worry for him. Paulie Orange, is he on a lap? Yes, he is. He's gone on the softs. He obviously doesn't think he's safe with that medium time, despite it being very close to Velocity's time. Well, if Paulie Orange is thinking he's not safe, maybe it is just a strategy call, but if he's thinking he's not safe, well, then Velocity isn't safe either. But I do feel that he is safe, and I think this is maybe just a bit overcautious, or maybe he wants to start on the softs. Of course, that strategy can work as well, as he's done a purple middle sector. Paulie Orange. He made another one who made his debut quite a few races ago now. Emerson saying that he is fast enough with a 1:19.526, or he believes he is. I wouldn't question him on that. And Paulie Orange is going to go quickest with a 1:19.099 on the softs. He's definitely safe, and I'm sure he will retire once he's in the pits. As we see Velocity also come into the pits. And so far, in the elimination zone, Knowlesy, who has retired, but I think that was in the pit lane. I'm not sure he was claimed by Ascari. Fatality and Elan, who sadly were claimed by Ascari. Farhad's on a lap. He invalidated his first attempt. That was on the softs, his first attempt, so he's going out in the mediums for what will be his final attempt. And Liam Yer, who hasn't set a lap time yet. So, Farhad and Liam Yer, there's only room for one of them in this, in the top 10. And they'll be looking to dislodge Knowlesy from that 10th place. Let's see if any of them can join the others in Q3. I think everyone is pretty much safe now, because of the fact that Fatality and Elan we've lost, as well as Knowlesy. Velocity is reserving Becker. So that is why he's racing tonight. Not a regular thing, don't worry. I'd boycott the league.
He crashes out soon, so he's just out of it.
Yeah, I'd boycott the league if that happened. Oh, Farhad! He's nearly lost it! He's kept it out of the wall! He's just about kept it out of the wall. And Ascari there nearly had yet another victim. God, it is... I mean, it's that Ascari corner. I know it's deadly, but I wasn't expecting it to catch out this many drivers today. But good save from Farhad. Got to give him that. to keep that out the wall. Fatality and Elan couldn't manage to keep it out the wall, but he has, and he does a 123.7. That's good enough for 11th. I actually think 11th is a better starting position than 10th because of the free choice of tyre. But I think he might be fueled up. There's a big lock up there. I think he might be fueled up for at least another run as Velocity retires from the session, copying everyone else as usual. Evil Hunter retires. He knows he's safe because only one driver can pip him to that, and Nosey is the only one in danger. Unless actually Liam can get in the time. In fact, yeah, Evil Hunter is not necessarily safe. Farhad and Liam, if they go quicker, but then I guess Evil Hunter is guaranteed at least 11th for him, which, as I said, is not a bad starting spot, considering the tyre rule. We've also got Liam on a lap, as I said. He's in Sector 1. We're just going to stick on board. Our Farhad is 6/10 down. This is, but of course he lost all his time at Ascari, so this is still going to be an improvement as long as he does not die at Ascari again. He has managed to keep it on the track. Kurt Boy's joined. Good to see a fellow Division 2 driver joining the chat, along with Becca. Quite the carnage in Q2. Yes, it's been a eventful Q2. More eventful than we anticipate, that's for sure. Farhad comes across the line now. It's a 121.3. It's not going to be good enough. Oh, Liam Yez left the session on his flying lap. He's disconnected. That's happened to me many a time. So he is out of Q2. So is Farhad. Yeah. He will start 11th. As I said, as he smashes the barrier. As I said, Farhad, 11th position. It's a decent consolation at least, with a fresh choice of tyres. Liam has joined back, but he's not going to have time for another lap, unfortunately, so he'll be starting 14th. And we have lost Farhad, Fatality, Elan, and Liam who won't be in Q2. We might not have Nosey either, but I think he did retire in the pit lane. Or he died at Ascari and we did not see it. As we've seen quite a few people fall victim to Ascari. And I'm sure in Q3, when they're pushing even more, we might see some more victims. And of course the race, another matter. And you'll probably see a victim if you tune in to watch Division 2 on Saturday. I would probably be that victim. So if you could supply some preemptive rest in peace and tributes to me, I'd really appreciate that. Just waiting for Farhad to trundle round. Toby's saying he's organised some help for Elan. Yeah, he does need some therapy probably on his virtual legs. They've probably been so destroyed by now from all the horrific crashes he's had. It's amazing how he keeps coming back to racing. As we're going to see Farhad trundle into the pits. He'll be disappointed, but as I said, he has got the consolation of being 11th with that fresh set of tyres. So not all is lost for him. But unfortunately will not be taking part in Q3. Phil Razor, we haven't said much about Phil Razor. We haven't heard much from Phil Gang, to be fair, though not too much to hear about. He's doing his job at the moment. He's in Q3, I guess. That's the main thing, in 6th. Liam's saying I would have got through regardless, pacer than there at all. Well, at least, that's a bit of a consolation, because if you thought you were going to get through and were robbed by the connection, that would have been a lot more painful. So that's the positive. But yeah, there's your top 10 in the Q3. And again, very close if you just look at the medium runners. Very close running indeed, especially between Chapelole and Emerson. And of course, Velocity and Droftas always lurking. And Phil Razor up there in 6th as well. But yeah, unfortunately, we lost Elan and Fatality to a crash at Ascari. Well, 2 separate crashes at Ascari, I should mention. Farhad in 11th. Did manage to set a time, but was compromised by nearly dying at Ascari. And Liam who disconnected just before he's going to do his lap. Although he said he wouldn't have got through anyway. Well, Liam, at least you didn't make the mistake at Ascari of crashing like others. So I guess that's, again, something positive. You alright, Cameron? Are you getting some sleep, are you?
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah. I got my sleep in the Arsenal game, as I said, so I'm fine for that.
I'd say the same about the Celtic game if I wasn't commentating.
Don't worry, Celtic will lose anyway, so it doesn't matter whether you're watching or not.
We are losing, mate.
Oh, there you go. So, looks like it is coming out. Andreas behind him, Emerson, and a few others as well. Emerson looked to be lagging a bit there. But yeah, Andreas on his outlap at the moment. As we see, the leaderboard's glitching a bit. I hope that's not lag from me. Anyway, as we look at the pit lane, just because why not? So Velocity is just behind Emerson, and behind him we've got Phil Razor for the Phil gang, but yeah, first across the line will be Andreas. So Andreas starting his lap. See what he can do. Do apologise if the pitch has gone a bit grainy. That's just because I had a bit of internet issues, but that should have hopefully helped it a bit.
Surprise there, then?
Actually, it's a surprise compared to recently when I've been commentating. So your dig is inaccurate.
I'll give you that. It's been better.
Yeah, it's an old dig, but it checks out. 25.9 for Andreas. That's a good first sector. That. Let's see what he can do for the full thing. Yeah, what I will need you to do is you need to check comments rather than me, so I'm not using the internet.
Yeah.
But you sometimes seem a bit slow on that part, Cameron. So.
Yeah, but then sometimes I'm just waiting for you to shut up before I read them out. Yeah.
Okay. I like the feistiness. As Andreas goes into Ascari and avoids the fate of Elan and Fatality. And as you see behind him, the McLaren of Emerson and then Velocity. So Andreas coming around now. What is going to be the benchmark then in Q3? It is going to be a 1 minute 18.7. We go to Emerson. Can he beat that time? He can. 1:18.6. Velocity, a 1:18.8. He'll be disappointed with that. He knows he can go a lot quicker. Phil Razor has him validated. That was a bit anticlimactic there. Paulie Orange is in the middle sector. Just about. We've also got Knowlesy's invalidated, so we will go back to Paulie Orange then. With this onboard view. So you got a... I wasn't sure for a minute there from this view here. I thought he had a all black helmet, but no, he's got the black back and the yellow. Looks a nice helmet, actually. Looks a very nice helmet. Let's see if his lap can be nice as well. It's pretty decent at 1:19.1. Not too far off the pace. We've got One on an outlap, Chapelele on an outlap. Droftas is on a flying, so we'll stick on board with him. He's going for an all red helmet. Not sure if it complements his Alpha Tauri, but then again he might have that primarily for one of the other leagues he races in. So see him go past Emerson, who is currently on provisional pole, and he's invalidated Droftas. Frustration for him. Meanwhile, Evil Hunter starts his lap. Chapelele further up, also starting his. So let's see. The time to beat at the moment is 1:18.6, but I imagine pole will be quite a bit quicker than that, considering what we've been seeing people do on TTs. But then again, when it comes to the real thing, worrying more about invalidation, it can be slower, but most of the time we find it quicker. And Chapelele has gone purple in the first sector. So, but then he's gone in the gravel, and he nearly lost it. So that's going to cost him a lot of time there, Chapelele, and frustration for him. He might still go fastest, or certainly do a decent time, but that would have cost him time anyway. Let's see if he can make up some of it. We've also got One on a lap, as I mentioned. Droftas has gone into the pits after invalidating Evil Hunter on a lap. Chapelele's invalidated. Evil Hunter Ascari gets through fine. So when Evil Hunter sets this lap, he will only be the 5th person to a set time lap so far. 6 minutes into, 4 minutes into Q3. Ooh, bit of understeer it looks like there from Evil Hunter. Yeah, riding the curve. It's a 1:19.3. That puts him in 5th of the 5 time laps. One now coming through Ascari. He's invalidated. A lot of invalidations.
Yeah, there's a lot. And Becca was just saying these invalidations giving me nightmares for Saturday.
Yeah, I know. You think really good drivers like this are gonna get invalidations. Then drivers like me and Becca are really screwed for Saturday and Tuesday. So
yeah, you especially. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I can't argue that. So yeah, everyone else. Oh, we got Droftas on an outlap. He's gone straight back out. Wants to at least put a banker in. And he'll be hoping not to invalidate. Chapelele also invalidated, of course. So far, it is Emerson still on provisional pole with a 1:18.682, and exactly a 10th behind him. Look at that. Exactly a 10th is Andreas with a 1:18.7, who will want to get his championship charge back on after quite a lot, about 3 or 4 really disappointing races for him that have seen him drop from 1st in the championship to 4th. Droftas invalidating his outlap. Hopefully not going to do that on the real thing. So, yeah, we're going to stay on board with him for this lap. We've got... is Knowlesy out? No, Knowlesy's going to be coming in. So Droftas has got the track completely to himself. And we'll be looking to get a decent time in. I wouldn't... yeah, we're world class in bottling it, Becca. We're world class in bottling it. I'll give you that. Into the first corner then. Droftas looked a bit cautious, a bit slow. See what this first sector's like. I might be chatting out my arse. Droftas to the first sector. Yeah, it's not purple. It's about 3/10 off the quickest first sector time. The 26.1, and he nearly loses it there in exactly the same place that Chapelele had his wall, and he's backed off. He's gonna, if he comes in now, he'll have time for another lap, and I think that's what he's gonna do.
I think that's what he's gonna do.
Phil on an outlap at the moment. But apart from that, Droftas will be coming into the pits, I presume, and everyone else is then waiting to leave it, I guess, as late as possible to come across the line and set their time, which, as I said, currently to beat is a 1:18.682. I know Velocity will definitely be disappointed with that time of 1:18.8 because his TT time's a 1:18.2, and he's been showing some pretty consistent pace around here. So, but it's an okay banker, I guess. He knows he can improve on that. Phil backs up a bit to start his flying lap. Will we see a Brazilian on pole for the first time in a long time?
Hopefully for the Phil gang.
Yeah, let's see if the Phil gang can spur him on to pole position. Going down to the first corner. Looks pretty smooth through there. Looked like a bit of an issue with gearing. Might have cost him a tiny bit of time. Getting as close as he can to the curb. And to the end of the first sector. And it's... Oh my god, it's a purple first sector. It's a 25.8. Phil gang. Let's stay calm, Phil gang. Stay calm. Still a long way of the lap to go. Still a long way of the lap to go, though. And of course, you can always invalidate it. But it is a purple first sector from Phil Razor. And a good one at that. A 25.8 is very solid. And Phil continues on to sector 2 now. And it's another purple sector. Will Phil gang start to believe? Well, it all depends on Ascari. He's got to be careful, doesn't lose it. Hits the apex. Well, it's bumps over it, more like, actually. Coming now down to Parabolica, that's it. I remember the name of the corner. I deserve an award for that. And to the finish line. What time is this going to be? It's only a 1:89,
Ooh.
so his final sector let him down. And it looked like those first two sectors, Ayrton Senna had his controller, but the final sector, I think it was more like Arthur Kane, because that's really... you'd expect a quicker time with those two purple sectors, and the first one definitely was purple. The 25.8 is the quickest we've seen. So everyone's on outlaps, but who will be first across the line? Looks like it'll be Chapelele. It will be Chapelele. The first across the line then. And to try and beat that time of 1:18.682. So Phil currently sitting in fourth, or 1:18.9. Good time, but it'll be disappointing considering the first and second sectors. I think he lost a lot of time in Ascari, as I said. Lock up from Chapelele. Cautious on the throttle. So 28.6 is the quickest time we've seen in the first sector. Sorry, 25.8, sorry. And Chapelele doesn't go purple, but he's not far off the purple time set by Phil Razor. Because he is in the 25.8s. Chapelele now, of course, invalidated his first attempt. This will be his first and only shot. Same for Droftas. Got a yellow flag in sector 3. That's Phil going really slowly. It's a purple. Wow, that's a really good second sector from Chapelele. Really good second sector. And he looks like he's done Ascari quite decent as well. Oh, that was Phil going across the line very slowly. So this is looking very good for Chapelele. And as long as he can have a good parabolica, this should be the quickest time. Because that, especially that second sector, was rapid. What can he do then? Chapelele, it's a 1:18.3, and that is provisional pole so far. So next up we have Paulie Orange. He'll be next across the line. He's 3/10 up on his previous time. And he's going to come across the line now with a 1:18.6. That puts him currently P2.
Ooh,
Velocity's invalidated. That's huge. That is really huge. We've got Emerson as well coming through. What can Emerson do? He was originally on pole. Can he be his time? A 1:18.4, only good enough for P2. Andreas is invalidated. Velocity is invalidated. Evil Hunter's backing off. Or is he? I'm not sure. Droftas has gone pole. 1:18.278. Can Evil Hunter beat that? No, only a 1:18.8. And that's it, folks. That's a pole for Droftas. Just pipping Chapelele for that pole position, and that was really tight at the end, and Velocity will be very frustrated because he was up there with his pace, but just hasn't been able to put together a lap. But there, look at the gap between P1 and P2, 0.028, then another tenth further back for Emerson. So your top three, Droftas, Chapelele, Emerson, and then further back, Paulie Orange, Andreas, Velocity, Evil Hunter, Phil Razor, only good enough for 8th at the end after that incredible first sector, Nolsey 9th, and One 10th. That is your grid from qualifying 3. Congratulations to Droftas for that pole, and a really good effort from Chapelele and Emerson as well to give it that close as well. But now it all comes down to when it really matters, which is the race. Be interesting to see, actually. I presume it's a dry race because, again, no one's commented saying otherwise. But yeah, we go in now ready for the formation lap, and I'll leave you in the capable hands of Cameron as I visit the toilet.
Oof. Jeez. What does one man do now? Huh? In the end of the race, Emerson says. That'll make it quite interesting. I'll tell you that. Oh. Waiting to load in for the formation lap.
Hopefully Cameron has kept you entertained whilst I was gone.
Yeah,
I'm sure he
say so.
has. I'm sure he has.
Emerson said there's rain at the end of the race.
Oh wow, that's interesting for strategy then. And I think that benefits especially those medium runners, although depends how late in the race it is, I guess. So let's just get the details up. It's tyres. So everyone's starting on the mediums apart from Alan, Gurman, Energetics and Dan Murphy. So they're going for pace over maybe banking on a safety car. Let's run down the order then. Droftas in first, Chapelele second. So another pole for the championship leader, Droftas, but very closely fought between Chapelele and him. Emerson, only a 10th back as well. He's in P3. Paulie Orange, P4. Good showing for him. Sorry, he's also on the softs, so we have 5 soft runners. He's the only one in the top 10 with the softs, which might give an advantage off the line and make for a good start, but also will mean obviously his tyres will... he'll have to pit earlier than the others. But of course, with safety car and everything, that disadvantage can be cancelled out. Andreas in 5th, Velocity in 6th, Evil Hunter 7th, Phil Razor in 8th, Nolsey 9th, One 10th, and then for the others, we got 11th. Those who didn't make it to Q3, we got Farhad in 11th, Fatality 12th, Alan 13th, Liam 14th, Gurman 15th, Sean Hammer 16th, and then Energetic 17th and Dan Murphy 18th, starting a lot further back than you would expect for drivers of their calibre, but that Energetics didn't have a great qualifying. Dan wasn't there for it, and YouTube Nova in 19th, who had a qualifying ban and is disconnected or is paused. I hope it's paused. But yeah, he had a qualifying ban. That's why he's starting so far back. As we see the drivers get ready to get in their positions and get the Italian Grand Prix underway. Just have a quick look
Evening, Guna.
at the comments. As the drivers line up, hopefully they have fixed that glitch where it screws up the leaderboard at the start. There has been a new patch since the last race, so I really hope they have done that. If not, that would be typical Cody's though.
You're asking too much here.
I've got no red lights. So I'm completely guessing when we're underway. We're underway, and we've got the worst camera angle imaginable. Droftas has got away poorly. Chapelele's got ahead of him. Emerson now side by side. That's an amazing start from Chapelele. As we go down to the first corner, someone's got really deep. It's Andreas. Andreas has gone round. There was contact there, and Andreas has gone round, as you can see. And lots of stuff happening. I'm trying to keep up. Paulie Orange all over the back of Velocity. And then meanwhile for the lead, Droftas getting past Chapelele. Straight back again. Phil Razor getting past Evil Hunter as well. Evil Hunter looking to get back at him with a better exit. They're going to be side by side through here. But in the end, there's not going to be enough room. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. Someone at the back has come off. And that looks like it's Liam, yeah. Yeah, Liam has got damage. Nova also got damage. I don't know if Andreas had damage from his crash. Gurman is past Sean Hammers. We're now going to look at Velocity and Paulie Orange. Droftas and Chapelele also close together. We've also got Evil Hunter at the back. Fatality gets past Alan. We've got Evil Hunter at the back of Phil Razor. And Sean Hammers has lost a lot of positions. That is One. I think One's got damage and he's letting people past because he's just dropped a load of positions. Yeah, he has got slight wing damage, so he will likely be coming into the pits then. Meanwhile, what has happened there? Someone is... I'm not sure if this is the leaderboard going crazy, but the positions seem to be going crazy for me. I thought someone had crashed there. But yeah, as it stands, Droftas is in the lead, but look how close Chapelele is to Droftas. And this is frustrating because the data is not accurate. It's saying it's 4/10. That does not look like 4/10 to me, the gap between Chapelele and Droftas. As Chapelele goes down the inside, and my leaderboard glitches out, and he's made the move done, lock up in the process, but he's got him on the brakes, and as we wait for the leaderboard to go back up, yeah, Codemasters haven't fixed it. That's excellent to see, really good to see. Droftas, closely followed by Emerson. There's the predicted pit stop strategy for anyone who's interested. So currently Chapelele running first. Don't believe those numbers. Droftas second. Emerson third. Paulie Orange has got past Velocity. He was all over the back of him, and I guess on those fresher soft tyres, got past him. I didn't see exactly how that happened, but these top three very close together. And I really hate this glitch. I mean, it's infuriating, but nothing we can do about it, I'm afraid. As there we go, the leaderboard's reset itself. But and hopefully we get those deltas a lot more accurate, because we, as I said, did not seem to be accurate at all. A Chapelele, well, briefly had the fastest lap of the race, but Paulie Orange now has it, and look how close he is to Emerson. Those soft tyres are really doing wonders. And German, actually, if we go to position changes, German is up 8 places from his start to P7. He's on an absolute madness. And
he is.
Droftas, I mean, this top 4 are separated by less than a second as Nova gets the first time penalty. Dan Murphy's got past Alan, he's into 14th. We're just watching from Paulie Orange's perspective. We're also seeing Droftas and Chapelele's Phil Razor gets the first time penalty for him. And the second one of the race so far. Paulie Orange is getting really close to Emerson. Of course, DRS is now enabled this lap. And you can see Droftas has got it wide open here. Emerson might be saved here from DRS from Paulie Orange. He tries to break the slipstream by going to the right. Is everyone going to get through Ascari okay? Well, Droftas and the lead. Oh, Droftas isn't!
Ooh.
Oh, he's out! He's out! And Ascari, and there's another one! There's another one, it's German! We've just seen 2 crashes at the same point at Ascari. I do not believe what we've just seen. And one of our championship leader is out. And we've also lost German, who had a great start, making up those positions. And not surprisingly, we have a full safety car. We've had Paulie Oranges in the pits. He's on the soft, so he's taking advantage of this. That rules out the advantage for anyone else. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting that. I was just saying, are we going to see anyone get caught out by Ascari? I certainly wasn't expecting Droftas to. And then I wasn't expecting German to lose it literally as we were looking at Droftas's broken car. Goodness me.
No, honestly, I'm shocked.
That was mental. That really was mental.
Droftas saying, well, that was disappointing, and Becca saying, commentator's curse.
Yeah, well, I'm imagine that Droftas is very disappointed. He was having a good battle there with the lead. And now with his safety car, it's good for the people at the back. People like Liam, yeah, who had damage. Andreas, who had contact at the start and spun out. And Energetics, who obviously, and Dan Murphy, who started far back. Dan Murphy now in 10th. Velocity now up to P3, obviously, but that's because Paulie Orange has pitted, but he's got a decent track position, and I'll be hoping he can get a bit closer to the likes of Emerson and Chapelele. But he's got to be careful because there's a Phil behind him, and that Phil has a gang from Brazil who will be urging him on to get past the league owner who's reserving for tonight. So yeah, really was not expecting that, but Ascari just claimed so many drivers, and I'm sure many drivers will be very nervous going through that Ascari corner now. I certainly will be on Saturday when I go through, and that's a real shame for German. As I said, he made 8 positions and he was looking really good. He would have made 9 because Droftas crashed out, but then unfortunately he decided to copy him, and
he did have an amazing start.
And then he crashed.
And he has said, "What a bottle."
Yeah, it's really, really gutting for him. He made really good places, but that's Ascari for you. As we see Energetics go into the pits, despite the fact he's on the hard tyre, he does have some very interesting pit strategies, Energetics. I guess is he going to run the mediums to the end? I guess that could work. It must surely be the thinking behind that. And safety car now been out for about 2 full laps. So I imagine it will be coming in soon and we'll be back underway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like it was a bit of the commentator's curse. It was literally in the process of saying Droftas got past the corner as he then lost it. Yeah. So I do apologise, Droftas. I'll take the blame for that. See
You quite
LLV,
tend to curse a lot of people, don't you?
yeah, LLV saying Gerns, yeah, disappointing for German. Sure, he won't be the only person disappointed. Popular guy, German, good driver, in good form as well. As was Droftas, of course, but he's saying that he wasn't expecting the dirty air to affect him so much. Yeah, and I wasn't expecting Ascari to affect this many people as well. But there we go. And shame we don't have red flags like in real life, because make it a lot more interesting. But we have got the safety car, and it looks like it's staying out another lap. So looks like we'll be under safety car conditions until at least the end of lap 6, and DRS will not be available until lap 9. So people saving their fuel, saving their tyres, saving their ERS. Interesting to know that Dan Murphy not pitting despite starting on the softs. Alan has either paused or disconnected. I think he's just paused it. And he's up to 14th. As I said, the safety car would have blessed a few people, as we see One in the pits. I'm not sure how much it would have benefited the front runners. So fill up positions. Biggest gainer are Sean Hammers and Dan Murphy in 8. I know Beck was supporting Sean Hammers, fellow Welshie, I believe. As we've seen one exit in Droftas. Dan Murphy also making 8 positions as well. Biggest losers, Paulie Orange, but that's only because he's pitted. And Andreas, who had that contact at the start. I wonder if that gamble for Paulie Orange is going to pay off, or if the track position will prove too costly. We will see, because I'm praying and I assume that the safety car will go in this lap. It is. There you go.
Yeah, it's in this lap, yeah.
Shock, I'm right.
First time for everything.
Indeed, there is. So Chapelele, as we get a great view of some trees. Chapelele backing up the pack. Let's not have another Mugello, please. And it's all about where he's going to bolt. Where is he going to go? It's always the most nerve-wracking thing. I find it okay if you're at the front and you're dictating the pace, but for everyone else, it's so nervous. You don't want to get front wing damage, but you also don't want to get swamped at the start. When is Chapelele going to bolt? He's still not going, and he's put his foot down. No, he's still weaving. It's going to be a Mugello restart. He's going to start on the straight, and look at velocity. He's desperate to get past.
Yes.
He is desperate. Oh, they've got to be careful not to have contact. And Chapelele is going to cross the line and go. And Velocity's been caught out there. Phil is going to be all over the back of him. Velocity was caught sleeping. Evil Hunter also looking like he's getting challenged by Knowlesy. Is Phil going to go for a move? He is. He's going for a move on Velocity. But Velocity defends, and then there's contact between Phil and Evil Hunter. Evil Hunter's got some damage, I think. And there just wasn't enough room. Meanwhile, Phil and Velocity are going side by side, as is Emerson and Chapelele. And Chapelele just in front, and Phil has got past Velocity. So Phil gang, Phil is on for his first podium of the season as it stands. Although, again, wouldn't get too excited, he just loves to bottle it. Evil Hunter losing places, although he's gained it back temporarily. Of course, he had that damage.
Ooh, fatality!
Oh, and that's not good at all for fatality. Was there contact there? I didn't see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see who it was with?
A bit of contact. No, I didn't see who it was with, but I seen the bit of contact.
Safety
he's lost
car.
His whole front wing.
Another well, that's. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go on the record here and criticise the FIA. I don't like to do it. That seems like an incredibly unnecessary safety car. There was wing damage. It was off the track. There was no stricken car. Completely unnecessary safety car, and it just stifles the racing we've had. And that's frustrating. That is very frustrating. Alan just under the safety car. The orange, has he had contact? Because he's down in 16th. Orange has lost his wing. Was that the person he had the contact with, I wonder? As we see a load of people go into the pits. Phil is one of them. Phil has gone into the pits. He has changed onto the... Is that the hard? Yeah, it's the hard tyre. So Phil will be going to the end on that tyre. Evil Hunter obviously pitting for wing damage, because he had wing damage. Dan Murphy pitting. Alan pitting onto the hard tyres. Evil Hunter onto the softs, so I presume he will be stopping again. Fatality getting his wing change, and Paulie Orange also having his wing change, and he is now on the mediums. So Chapelele leads. That hasn't changed with the brief amount of racing we had before the second unjustified safety car. The first safety car was definitely justified, but this wasn't at all. Velocity was overtaken by Phil, but Phil is now pitted, so Velocity still in third. Knowlesy up to fourth. Farhad, I do mention him, he's really improved recently. He's in fifth. Sean Hammers, what a start it's been for him. He's in sixth. Andreas down to seventh. He's lost 2 positions from the start. Liam, after a disastrous start and starting from 14th, and then he had damage at the start, is now up to 8th. So that's first safety car, really blessed him. And One, 9th. Nova in 10th. Energetics in 11th. He's pitted once already. Sorry, twice, no, because he went on the hards and then mediums. Phil Razor in 12th, Dan Murphy 13th, Alan 14th, Evil Hunter 15th, Paulie Orange 16th, and Fatality 17th. And we now await. I really hope the safety car is not out long, because this is just a joke of a safety car.
Yeah, there's no need for you to be out for multiple laps, is there?
No, it's complete corruption by the FIA. Poor decision making. That's why you should be a steward, Cameron. Get these calls right.
I've thought about it.
But then it would mean having to give up your incredible racing career. That's the only downside.
It's a lot. It's a lot to give up, you know.
Yeah.
When you're as good as me, it's hard.
Indeed. And as much as he'd be benefiting, obviously, Division 1, so we'd have stupid calls like this, we'd lose a really great talent on the track. And I wonder if Chapelele is going to go for that restart, because that worked quite well for him, doing that Mugello-style restart on the straight of Monza. Didn't work out for Velocity, because he had Phil Razor all over the back of him. I wonder if he'll be more aware to it this time. But yeah, fortunately with that safety car restart, unlike Mugello, we didn't have a crash. So therefore, Division 1 drivers are better than real-life Formula 1 drivers. You heard it here first. That's how you do a restart on a straight.
LV saying the violations of slide digs between these two. Not even sure I came here for the racing anymore. Safety cars in this lap.
It is indeed, and Chapelele already backing them up. We do try our best here. As we're waiting for Chapelele's, we'll get a better view here, hopefully. Alan's been overtaken under the safety car. I think that's what happens when you pause or disconnect. I'm not even sure if he's 100% in the race still. But look at this view. Oh, was that a bit of wing I just saw flick up in the air? Or was it a leaf? My eyesight isn't great. We restart. Chapelele not going for the same technique. And again, it looks like Velocity's been caught out by the safety car. Or has he? Knowlesy didn't have had a real slip there. And Velocity's been saved by that, because Farhad now has a really good chance to get past Knowlesy here. Emerson also closing in, but he's not going to be close enough. Farhad's going to have to go round the long way. There's a bit of wheel banging. Ooh, can he get the traction? Yeah. He can, and Sean Hammers is through on Knowlesy as well. And now Sean Hammers and Farhad are side by side. Who's going to brake later? Who's going to get the better traction? It's a bit of a lock up there from the racing point, but Farhad just stays ahead. Is he going to really try it round here? No, he's not. He's backing off, and I think that's wise in the end. One's got past Liam, And in the end, well done to Farhad. He's up to 4th. He probably smells a podium. Meanwhile, Emerson is very close to Chapelele. He's going to have a go here without DRS. But he just doesn't have the straight line speed to get past him, or the room from that straight. Everyone get through Ascari safely, let's see. Velocity certainly does. We get a couple of time penalties through Ascari. Got some really close racing going on as Energetics is getting past YouTube Nova. We've also got Phil going for a move. Knowlesy getting past, and Phil Razor getting past YouTube Nova, as well as Knowlesy getting past, it was Sean Hammers, sorry. Yeah, it was Knowlesy getting past Sean Hammers as Velocity does the fastest lap of the race so far. Emerson, the gap between Emerson and Chapelele, the second closest in the top 10, although Andreas, One and Liam, yeah, there's a bit of contact between Andreas and One. These guys know each other well from last season of VIL, and in the end, One keeps that position. And I tell you what, Velocity is starting to close on these front two, and starting to pull away from Farhad. He will want to be in the mix for a winner. If I know Velocity, and I do, he will want this win, even as a reserve, especially when he's in sight of Chapelele and Emerson. And Chapelele is coming under a lot of pressure at the moment from Emerson. He's within DRS, but too far back. Cool. We're going to go on board Velocity through Ascari, see if we can get a view of these guys. Ooh, it's always twitchy through there.
It is.
Got to be careful not to hit the curb too much. And One's got a really good run on Sean Hammers here. But I'll tell you who's got a really good run as well is Emerson on Chapelele. It's all about this exit from Parabolica. Looks like a really good exit. DRS on top of, as he does the fastest lap of the race. DRS and draining overtake. And yet he's not. Oh, Chapelele must be draining all the overtake in the world to stay ahead there. Absolutely incredible effort. And Emerson will be frustrated there. Velocity's dropped out of the DRS zone. Meanwhile, One gets past Sean Hammers. Sean Hammers tries to fight it, but locks up. But he's on 11 lap old mediums, and he's done a great job coming from where he did in the grid. Andreas, it's all the midfield really close together. Phil Razor's got past his teammate and Paulie Orange, and he'll be looking to make up his way up the field. Of course, he won't have to pit again. Dan Murphy going for a move on Evil Hunter meanwhile, and he's got that corner horribly wrong. Fatality might have a go here on the hard tyres.
Ooh, Energetics hitting the back of Liam, but they've both kept it under control.
Oh, but then he's gone off the track. Energetics has gone in the gravel. Has he got damage? Phil gaining a position because of that. He's got damage. I can confirm Energetics got damage. And here comes Evil Hunter going for the move. And surely Evil Hunter, yeah. Energetics has conceded. Evil Hunter gets the move done. Emerson looking for that DRS. Well, I'll tell you what, actually. Velocity looks like he's almost close to Emerson now than Emerson is to Chapelele. Chapelele does the fastest lap of the race. That's probably why he's pulled on Emerson. But Emerson, he might have drained a lot of ERS as a result. Emerson just too far back again to look for a move. Velocity has got himself back in the DRS zone, and he'll want these two to battle so that he can get past them, or certainly get in the mix. We look further back. We've got a move, well, we've got a battle here between Energetics, who has wing damage, who's going to continue despite that. And he's got contact again, this time with Evil Hunter. Dan Murphy's going to get past him. He's also under threat from Fatality. Oh, this is frustration for Energetics. He's gone really wide as well because of that wing damage. And that's Fatality through as well. Meanwhile, Phil, who got passed by Paulie Orange actually with the when the incident happened with Energetics with his wing. With him going in the gravel. Will want to get past Paulie Orange. Paulie Orange, who was up there at the start, of course, but pitted for quite early on under the safety car. Andreas gets the time penalty. Look how close these two are now. Emerson and Velocity. I don't think Emerson had the best Ascari though, and Velocity is getting a lot closer as well. DRS train between the front three. That's what we love to see, with them all so close together. Chapelele runs just about within the track limits there. Emerson yet again going to be frustrated. Or this time, as he got the straight line speed, he's running out of straight. He has a little look. He's not going to go for it. He's deciding to be patient. But the more he decides to be patient, look who's here. It's Velocity. And he got a bit too eager on the throttle there, nearly spun as Farhad gets a 3-second penalty. Paulie Orange has got past Liam yet. And Phil will be looking to dispatch him soon, but he's on those cold, hard tyres, of course, so not particularly an easy task. And he's got Evil Hunter on softs behind him, so Phil in a tricky position here. Sean Hammers gets a 3-second time penalty. Energetics gets past Dan Murphy. And Chapelele pulled a bit on Emerson. Looks like we're having two separate races here, one between the top three and one between everyone else, because everyone else is so close because of these safety cars. But Velocity pulled out a gap on Farhad. Farhad in a decent position, keeping Nosey out of his DRS at the moment in that 4th spot. I do believe he gets that 4th spot. It will be his best result of the season so far. Still a long way to go though, of course, so he won't be getting ahead of himself. Emerson a lot further back this time on Chapelele. Looks like there won't necessarily be a move done there. Further back, we got Phil closing on Liam, yeah. Paulie Orange also closing on Sean Hammers, and Phil is going to surely breeze past. He does, he breezes past Liam, yeah. Gets that move done, and into 10th. And look how close Paulie Orange is now to Sean Hammers. Meanwhile, Emerson looking to have a good exit as Evil Hunter gets past Liam, yeah. Not 100% sure when the pit window will be. I think about lap 16 maybe, for these medium tyres to then go onto the softs. Currently 14 laps done on these tyres. We'll keep an eye on that anyway. Andreas, really good recovery from him at the moment after that incident at the start, because he's up to 7th on those hard tyres. Wonder if we'll see if he can try and get them to the end. And look how close Emerson's got at the end of that DRS zone. Decent for Ascari. Velocity following, just fallen out of DRS zone. Is Emerson going to get past Chapelele here before DRS? Let's see, because if he does, that means Chapelele might have DRS. There's a bit of wheel banging there. Ooh. Let's see who has DRS here. We're waiting to see who's got the DRS, and it is Emerson. And Emerson is a lot closer now. He's got the fastest lap of the race. It's now or never, surely, for Emerson. And yet Chapelele has a straight line speed. This man is not human. He must be running 1-1 wings. As Paulie Orange gets past Sean Hammers. Evil Hunter Fatality, they switch because Liam Yeh has pitted. Nolsey and One battling. Looks like Nolsey's just got the edge on that occasion. Emerson really getting frustrated here. He seems to have more pace than Chapelele. He just can't get past. And meanwhile, whilst they're battling, Velocity still just about there, but not as close as maybe he'd like to be.
No, it's not, but... Oh! Velocity spun out!
Oh, he has! Was there... What's happened to Chapelele as well? It started raining! It started raining! All of a sudden! It's the rain that's caught him out there. Velocity's got on those hot tyres. Oh my... Well, this has changed everything. And Chapelele's lost the lead because of it. Farhad's now into 3rd. DRS has been disabled. It's time for intermediates. It is time for intermediates, and this race has suddenly turned. Emerson finds himself in the lead. He's got to negotiate himself carefully to the pits. As with Chapelele,
Velocity's sliding everywhere.
He's really struggling with it. Well, it's not a surprise. Has everyone made it through? Ascari okay? Well, Energetics hasn't.
Chapelele with a size 2nd penalty for speed in the pit lane.
Who got a penalty in this?
Chapelele.
Wow, that could decide the race. Everyone in the pits then. Let's see who comes out first. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Something's happened.
Velocity got one as well.
Something's happened there. Paulie Orange has spun round. That's what's happened. Oh dear, not good for his race at all. Emerson still comes out first with Chapelele right behind. And Farhad, is he going to come out in P3? He is, because everyone's pitted. And wow, we are in a different ball game now. We're in intermediates. And if you thought Ascari was scary before, it's now going to be even more scary. Yeah, you can race win for that. Chapelele looking for a move. He's got to be careful to not break himself in these wet conditions. Also worth noting that Phil has gone on the wets. Maybe it's meant to get heavier, why he's gone on left. Yeah, Becca, you've missed a lot. It was so sudden as well. Velocity spun, and we were like, why is he spun there? Chapelele also had a moment, and it turned out he's suddenly chucking it down. And so everyone had to come into the pits. Cameron, they are asking a very reasonable question. What is the Celtic score? I'm going to guess they're losing. It's just a wild guess.
It was 2-0 at one point to Milan. But
Milan actually look alright this season as well. It's not the Milan of past couple of seasons. Energetics gets a 3-second time penalty. He usually struggles quite a lot in these wet conditions. Looking at Evil Hunter, he's right on the back of Fatality here. Can he get the move done? Let's see. Phil Razor in 8th. He'll be slightly slow at the moment on those wet tyres, but if it continues to rain and rain heavier, he will eventually be quicker, surely, on those wet tyres. As we see Evil Hunter now getting up to Fatality. Of course, no DRS in these wet conditions. Just all about slipstream and using ERS. All very nearly contact there, but well done to both of them for keeping it clean. And Evil Hunter is through in P9. Meanwhile, Chapelele is getting very close to Emerson here. And look at the gap between Chapelele and Farhad already. I don't think Farhad's as comfortable in the dry as he is in the wet. As comfortable in the wet as he is in the dry. Velocity gets his first penalty. That'll be frustrating for him. Of course, Chapelele is gaining on Emerson, but let's not forget, as Cameron said, Cameron pointed out and spotted it, which is a good thing because I didn't spot it, is that Chapelele's got a 5-second time penalty. So even if he does get past Emerson, who Emerson's currently got no penalties, he'd have to get 5 seconds down the road. Long way to go though. 9 laps in this very wet Monza now. That continues to throw up surprises. Nolsey closing in a bit on Farhad actually here. I think this is the closest battle on track. Apart from the Chapelele Emerson one. Of course, have to get so much closer in the rain to make those overtakes. Andreas up to P5 now. That rain has really blessed him. And of course, Droftas's crash has blessed him as well because he can close in on Droftas. He'll want a bit higher though. Same with Dan Murphy, who's a Droftas Championship contender, currently not in the points. Velocity about 5 seconds back from Andreas at the moment. We're seeing now Chapelele start to gain on Emerson through the straight. It's definitely Chapelele's. It's definitely his setup. His straight line speed setup is obviously crazy because he gains so much in the straights. Meanwhile, Phil has been passed by Phil. Phil has been passed by Phil. No, Phil has been passed by Evil Hunter. We've got an incident here. Energetics has spun round. Oh, and thank God for ghosting because he would have just murdered Paulie Orange, but luckily it went through him. Energetics really does struggle in the wet. And that's disappointing for him because that spin, I'm not sure if he had damage. I will check actually if he does have damage. Well, you can see Liam Yair's got damage, and no, looks like, well, it looks like there's no visible damage to Energetics, just a spin and a damage to his pride. I'm going to do the commentator's curse again. Seems like people are handling Ascari better as Andreas gets a 3-second time penalty.
Let's hope Rossi crashes out here at Ascari.
Fatality gaining on Phil Razor. Chapelele again. He'll gain a lot with his straight line speed, but without that DRS, it's not really enough. Just with his setup, no matter how pacey it is. Let's keep an eye on this battle then. Fatality and Phil Razor. Keeping an eye on the other deltas. Don't worry, especially between Chapelele and Emerson. Just aren't that many overtaking places. I wonder if Phil regrets going on the wets at the moment. We'll see. It might work out later in the race because the rain continues to come down. But he has lost a position to Evil Hunter, and he's now lost a position to Fatality as well. So maybe the wet gamble not paying off. And that is very long on the throttle there. He seems to be a lot slower than the other cars at the moment. He's got a decent run on Fatality, but he'll be too far back. But he does seem that those wet tyres, when you can look at the deltas, as Phil Razor gets a 3-second time penalty there, are significantly slower than the intermediate. So I think that tyre choice is going to cost him in the end. Maybe even points.
Sliding everywhere.
We'll have to see. As Cameron's on the velocity cam giving us daily updates. Well, second by second updates, I should say.
Nah, it's every time I literally flicked him, he just slides out. So I might have to keep switching into him, you know.
Well, he's done Ascari very cautiously there, but he hasn't lost the back end or anything. Andreas is continuing to pull away from him. And Andreas is now closing in on Nolsey, who continues to close in on Farhad, who will want that his first podium of the season. As I said, I think his best position so far is 6th, I think, this season. So even if he gets 4th or 5th, will still be his best ever finish, but there's nothing quite like a podium. Chapelele closing up to Emerson once again on the straights. Phil also gaining on Dan Murphy. I think Dan Murphy must have done a mistake. Oh no, he's been overtaken by Dan Murphy. That's why he was so close to him. And Phil now out of the points. I think he's going to have to pit again. Those wets are just so slow. Just not the right amount of water on the track needed to make them effective. And disappointing for Phil. Had a promising qualifying and then a promising start. At one point was running 3rd. But this rain has really thrown a spanner in his works. That's as for quite a lot of people, but it also has blessed others. And I bet Droftas is very jealous that he's not able to race in this rain, because we know how much he loves the rain. So the gap between Chapelele and Emerson staying exactly the same pretty much. Chapelele getting within sort of about 5-4 tenths by the end of the straight, but not close enough to make a move, and that's pretty much been the case every lap. He's obviously got a very good, very quick straight line speed set up. In fact, he's even further back there than the usual 4 tenths. He's about 6 tenths back after the straight. Andreas now gaining on Nolsey, and Farhad has managed to drop Nolsey a bit. Well, managed to get him out of DRS range. So now he is vulnerable to the attacks of Andreas, who, as it stands, will take over as 2nd in the championship once again, and close slightly on Droftas after Droftas's retirement. Of course, he'll want to gain as many points as possible because that gap is quite big. So he'll feel like it'll be an opportunity missed, even with that stuff at the start, that incident at the start, if he can't get higher than 5th. It looks like he has the pace for higher than 5th anyway in terms of the way he's chipping away at Nolsey's time. Emerson now 2nd away from Chapelele, just about. Fatality with a 3-second time penalty. We've had an incident, and it's Phil and Energetics.
Yeah, Phil and Energetics.
Yeah.
What's looking like?
Energetics having an absolute horrible time in this wet. Chapelele's had a moment because he's now 4 seconds behind Emerson. So that's interesting.
Yeah, we missed that.
Yeah, we missed that. He definitely had like a moment where he nearly spun or whatever. Maybe at Ascari, because that just seems to be the go-to for people crashing. Dan just too far back there, but if he gets a good exit from the Parabolica, can he overtake Fatality? He's another one, like Andreas, who needs to really take advantage of this slip up from Droftas. But obviously without DRS and in these wet conditions, it's so difficult to overtake. Is he going to be close enough to go for it? Doesn't look like it now, and he's going to settle behind Fatality and wait for his next opportunity. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. He's on. His teammate, of course, currently leaving. I hope not. Leading the race in Emerson, and Dan down in P10. But he'll want to improve with that. And Nova gets a 3-second time penalty. Whereabouts is he? He's in P12, Nova, so he's doing a decent job. Sean Hammers is just out of the points. Fatality had a bad exit there. That's going to give Dan Murphy a chance. I don't think he'll be able to get him through Ascari, although he's closing on him very quickly. I presume he'll wait till after Ascari, hope to get a good exit. from Ascari so that he can continue putting the pressure on Fatality. Of course, you don't want to be over-eager there and lose the car. He's really about the same distance that he was on the DRS straight just before Ascari as Energetics gets a 3-second time penalty, as if he's not suffering enough. Fatality looks like he had an issue on the throttle there, with his rear going out a bit. Dan Murphy got to be burning all that energy to try and get past. Fatality using Chapelele setup because he's got incredible straight line speed as well. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. That's Energetics, he's out. Has he retired on track or has he crashed? I can't verify that.
I think he's...
Well, Emerson's about to come through. Let's see if the car's... That's right in the middle of the track. I'm surprised that... if we hadn't already had 2 safety cars, that would have been a safety car. No, he's crashed. He's crashed it. It's Ascari. He's claimed another victim.
He's just never got going today.
Safety car. There we go. The safety car. Yeah, that isn't a danger. Oh, wait. No, that means we're going to probably finish the race under the safety car. I really hope not. I really hope not. Because that would be a really anticlimactic end. And Fatality just hit Dan Murphy and got a 5-second penalty. Has he got damage from that collision? He has. That could cost Fatality points. Well, it certainly will the 5-second, although he can get that removed if it was unjust. But with that wing damage, he's going to lose a lot. He'll be hoping that the safety car stays out for as long as possible. But yeah, I mean, it'd be a very disappointing ending, wouldn't it? I mean, I'm not sure Emerson would complain, but for everyone else, a bit disappointing. If
hopefully it goes in last lap, so we have that one last lap of racing.
Everyone's just going to be sending it, and in the rain as well. Should be an exciting. I mean, I kind of hope it goes in next lap so that we have at least 2 laps of racing. I really hope it will go in this lap, but I don't expect it to. Fatality pits with that wing damage and also have a 5-second penalty as well. They will get that time removed. But unfortunately for him, that's not going to matter. He'll be out the points either way. So incredibly disappointing. But that does elevate Sean Hammers into the points, into 10th place. And that's a really good showing for him. So well done to him. And currently Farhad in P3. He'll be hoping... safety car's in this lap. Excellent. We are going to get some racing. Now, how is Emerson going to do it? We've seen Chapelele do 2 very different styles. We saw him do the Mugello style. And then we saw him do the normal safety car restart of backing up the pack and then bolting at Parabolica. So which one will Emerson choose? Let's see. And will anyone get caught out? Someone who struggled with the safety car restarts at the moment is Velocity, who's quite a way back actually from the rest of them. Yeah. He will catch up just now. When is Emerson going to bolt? He's going now. And is anyone going to be caught out by cold tyres? Oh, he hasn't properly bolted yet. He has done a bit of a Mugello in the end. And we are racing again. Velocity has got a good run on Andreas, but so is One. They're going to go 3 wide. No, they're not. It's just 2 wide in the end. Velocity wants that position. Ooh. He's clipped. Andreas has got penalties for corner cutting, but I presume he can get them removed because that wasn't really his fault with that contact. Knowlesy now through to P4, but he's side by side with Andreas. Andreas nearly loses it. I don't think Andreas has damage. I'm not sure about Velocity. Velocity now going for the move. Oh, it's tight through there, but Andreas is fighting for the championship, whilst Velocity is just a reserve, but wants to do as well as possible, and he's been pushed off a bit of the track there. And then he's got damage, he's got wing damage, he's in the gravel. Liam Yes retired in the pit lane, and he's going to let his teammate pass, so Sean Hammers gets a place, but massively disappointing for Velocity. And disappointing for Andreas because he could have had 4th, but that battling with Velocity has cost him. We're now looking at One potentially looking at a move on Evil Hunter. Evil Hunter looking for a move on Evil Hunter, I should say. Evil Hunter looking for a move on One. I got there in the end. Dan Murphy also in that train. Yeah, it took me many attempts. But One is also catching up to Andreas, who He'll be frustrated with that battle with Velocity, considering the championship's on the line. I bet Droftas will be buying Velocity though a beer after that. But is Velocity going to hang on to points here? I mean, that looks pretty bad. Wing damage, to be honest. He is going to do the final lap, but I'm not sure he can hold on. Meanwhile, Dan Murphy and Evil Hunter. Dan Murphy looking to make up more points on Droftas. Side by side. He's being pushed to the outside. Oh, there's a bit of wheel banging. And in the end, Dan Murphy's through. Velocity's got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting, but he's got no wing in all fairness. So he will just be desperate to try and get that car home. But it looks like it's not going to be points for the league owner on his reserve debut. And Andreas closing on Knowlesy, but too far back. Chapelele on this final lap, closing up to Emerson. He's going to be giving it everything he has as they go through Ascari one last time. If Emerson can get through unscathed from Ascari, he should have this win. But we know that Ascari's taken out quite a few drivers. We've obviously seen that. Energetics, German, Droftas all fallen victim. Emerson's got through there, but Chapelele's got an amazing run on him. Chapelele's got an incredible run on him.
Oh my god.
He's got the 5-second penalty, so he won't win on penalties, but he could have won it on track there. But it's good defending from Emerson. What about the traction though? Is it going to be enough? Drag race to the line. We know about Chapelele's straight line setter, but in the end it's not enough. Emerson gets the win. Chapelele doesn't get second because of the penalty. In fact, he misses out on the podium. Farhad gets third. Knowlesy second because of penalties. Congratulations to Knowlesy. Brilliant drive from him. And Farhad for his first podium of the season and in VIL. Coming home as well, Chapelele comes home in the end in 5th. That penalty really cost him. Dan Murphy in 6th. And where is Andreas? 11th because of penalties. He will probably get at least some points because of some of that. Velocity comes home in 12th. Disappointing for Phil as well today. Just the rain really ruined his race. Alan 13th. And that is the end of the Italian Grand Prix. Emerson with his first win of the season. And coming home in 2nd. We have Knowlesy on penalties, but second on track was Chapelele. He went down to 5th on penalties. Third on track was Farhad, and that's where he finished with penalties as well. So a very eventful Monza Grand Prix. Who do you say is your driver of the day, Cameron?
Ooh, Farhad.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He started 11th, remember, so to get a podium is
really good.
Like, that's how good it is. But yeah, congratulations to all the podium sitters today, and unfortunate that there were a few incidents at the end, but obviously everyone's going for it with a safety car and it's wet conditions, so don't think we can judge too harshly. But yeah, there's the confirmation. Emerson with the fastest lap and the win. Fastest lap by quite a bit, actually. Knowlesy in 2nd without a single penalty. He started 9th to 2nd. One 10th to 4th. Chapelele obviously dropping down to 5th because of penalties. Dan Murphy 18th to 6th. Wow, I didn't realise it was that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's done a brilliant job there, especially with Droftas crashing out. Evil Hunter with a respectable job, 7th to 7th. Poorly Orange, unfortunately, didn't work out for him. Got some damage, and obviously the rain added another factor. Well done to YouTube Nova, who after a qualifying ban gets some points. 19th to 9th. Sean Hammers 16th to 10th, and that rounds out the points scoring positions. 11th Andreas, Velocity 13th, Alan 13th, Phil Razor 14th, Fatality 15th. Lemia 16th, and the DNF, Energetics, German, Droftas all being caught out by Ascari. Right, so whilst that happens, I will try and invite the podium sitters into the party. If you just bear with me. So I try and navigate this disgusting new party system. And it's deciding to be really nice and slow as well. So I nearly invited Droftas then, he's been on the podium so many times. Despite the fact he didn't finish, that would have been embarrassing. Just invite him in anyway, why not? Nolsey and Farhad. Is he peering or flying? I've gone past him. Oh, I don't appear to have Farhad, so we'll add those two for now. And then if I search Farhad, there we go. Okay, the invites are out. We've got the race winner joining first, so we'll talk to him first. Emerson, pretty crazy race. You just about got pole position, but it was hardly plain sailing from there, was it?
I mean, no, because Paulie Orange got a relatively good start. I'm not really sure what happened into turn 1, but from there onwards I was pretty much behind the Red Bull. I'm pretty sure I could probably paint a picture of that Red Bull now, because I did think about 20 laps behind him, and then yeah, once the rain came down, literally the heavens opened, and yeah, literally within half a lap it was time for renters, and then the Red Bull made a mistake, and so did Velocity behind me, and then it was a bit annoying with the safety car at the end because I had about a 3-4 second lead, and it was very close on the last corner as well. I thought I was going to lose it, but luckily I didn't get any penalties, so yeah. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting race from my point of view, but
yeah, it was a brilliant drive, and I was with you in terms of that frustration. Like, I don't know what setup Chapelele was running, but he seemed to have an unfair amount of straight line speed, didn't he? I mean, it was ridiculous. You were having DRS and overtake, and somehow he'd almost pull away from you on the straight still.
Yeah, I think he was using his ERS where I wasn't, so it was kind of equalising it out when I had DRS, because I was only using a little bit because I was trying to use it in places after turn 1 and 2. I was trying to use it down that straight, and I caught him a couple of times, but I didn't have enough speed to just to make the move on him. But yeah, luckily got him in the end by a few mistakes by him. But I mean, overall, we had a pretty good race between me and him. I think he was relatively quick. Yeah,
it was a good battle, and he would have been in this party with us if it wasn't for that 5-second penalty he got for speeding in the pit lane. So, but yeah, really good battle, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you, man.
And have we got Nolsey in the party as well?
Hi, Robbie.
Hello. Yeah, yeah. So we got Nolsey here. Congratulations on second place. Correct me if I'm wrong. You finished 4th on track, but got second on penalties.
I think so. Yeah, I didn't have any. I only had 2 warnings in the whole race, so yeah, didn't have any penalties.
Yeah. So take me to the start of the race, because you started from quite. You weren't at the front. And how was your start? There was a lot going on, to be honest. We didn't really see the start.
I don't know. I just wanted to stay out of trouble for the whole race anyway. Not just the start. The whole thing's a bit of a mess sometimes in Italy, so
yeah,
stay out of trouble and get the points.
Did the safety cars benefit you or hinder you?
Not really. I was going to stay out on mediums till the rain anyway from the beginning, okay. and then pit for inters anyway. So
were you surprised when the rain came down like it did, because it seemed to be really sudden, like quite heavy?
Yeah, it literally it started drizzling on the main straight, and then by turn 3. The MFD had come up saying we got a new strategy and switched to inters, so yeah, we just jumped on it straight away.
Yeah, it was crazy how quick it came down. I remember we just presumed Velocity spun off the curb, and then we just saw it was actually just pissing it down. So
yeah, I think well, people got a bit caught out of it, especially in the pit entry as well. I think there's got a few 5-second penalties.
Yeah, well, that's a really good result for you in the championship, and yeah, well done on Peter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cheers, thank you.
Did Farhad join, or no, he didn't join, unfortunately. But even though he didn't join, I still congratulate Farhad on a really good result. As I said at the start in qualifying, he'd really been improving, and he showed that today with an excellent podium from P11. So congratulations to him, even though he did boycott the interview. I get it. And yeah, that concludes the Italian Grand Prix. Not actually sure. We got Velocity in the party. What was the? Do you know what the next race is? Toby?
No?
Okay, I think Toby's got... Velocity's got stage
Is it
fright.
Singapore, I think? Is it follows the normal calendar?
No, it doesn't.
my
it doesn't
mic was
follow...
muted.
Okay, yeah. No, it's Canada. It's Canada, I've just seen it. Yeah, so
you don't
Canada
bother.
is up next. So, yeah, we hope you join us for that one. Until then, goodbye, and thanks for watching.